Have you ever wondered how constantly do we have to be reminded about the consequences of cutting trees and forests in our surroundings? Ruskin Bond is an Indian British author who loves nature, and he has been writing stories about ordinary people and their daily lives. His stories are very simple to understand, and they are a lot engaging. This story, and I'm sure you must have heard Ruskin Bond's name at some point of your life, and you must have read at least one story by Ruskin Bond by now. So the ghost stories are usually supposed to be spooky and scary, but Ruskin Bond has very effectively drawn this ghost's character as a funny one in the story. And instead of being frightened of this ghost, you would actually find this ghost very funny. PRET in the House is a story about a ghost who used to live on a tree right next to the narrator's house. Once the tree was chopped off, he had to find another shelter. Let's look at the main characters of the story. So in this story, we have the narrator, who is a small boy who lives with his grandfather, grandmother, his parents, his uncle, whose name is Ken, and his aunt Minnie. So the story starts with a description of how the ghost used to trouble all the passers-by. Since the tree was on a road, all the people that would walk by were troubled by the ghost. He also used to trouble the ponies who would draw the carts by scaring them and causing accidents. He would knock off the hats of the sahibs who would pass by. Sahibs are the people who wore hats, and they were mostly British people in that time. So one fine day, the PWD people, or the Public Welfare Department people, came and visited grandfather, and they wanted to chop that tree down. Since grandfather did not have any problem, he allowed them, and the tree was chopped off. The problem began after the tree was being cut. The ghost had no place to live in, and he was forced to shift to the narrator's house. Once he was inside the house, all the trouble started to begin. He started doing a lot of mischiefs, like he used to hide grandmother's spectacles. He would exchange the shaving cream of grandfather with Aunt Minnie's toothpaste. He would pull off the bedclothes of Uncle Ken all the time, and he would also mix the ink pot of narrator with the soup. And he would snip off the pea pods from the garden and throw them on the ground. One fine day, the family was so fed up. They were so through with all the mischiefs that this funny ghost used to do, that they decided to shift from this house. Once, while they were shifting, and when they were inside the car, they could hear some chuckling and squeaking sound from the car, and they wondered who it was. And when grandfather went out and checked on the top of the car, there was actually no one. When again they started driving, they could hear the ghost saying, and it was very clear. He said, "Now I am going to have a lot of fun in the new house with all these family members." You also must notice that the people in that area, when the tree was there, they would be scared to go past through that tree, especially at night, because they believe that if you sit under that tree, or if you pass by that tree at night time, then you are going to have digestion problem. The story ends with the ghost, by the author showing that the family was not shifting alone, the ghost was also shifting along with them. This is where the story ends, but you must notice that the story has a very strong message for us, for the modern society. And the message is this, that if we are cutting trees, we are not only depriving the various birds and animals and spirits that live on these trees, we are also calling trouble for ourselves. That's about the chapter. If you have any questions, any queries, please feel free to ask, or you can also type your question at the dialog box or the comment box right down. Bye bye.